Hey, if you're watching this, you work in sales as either a growth engineer, a GTM engineer, and you're trying to build an email campaign based off some, trends in product analytics that you've been noticing that's stored within Snowflake. But you realize that there's, a couple problems here. One is things are not quite synced between this and my CRM. In this case, it's Adio. It could be Salesforce in your case. And then also my campaign tool called Instantly. And I think to myself, for maybe 20 users, I can just shuffle some CSVs around and eyeball data quality and move on with my life. But let's say I have 1 million plus users. That's not going to be very kind of repeatable and realistic and very error prone. And I don't want to do a bunch of Excel V lookup acrobats either. And also, if I use Claude plus MCP, it doesn't necessarily have the guardrails and permission scopings, that I want. And so what would it look like to make that feel really easy and smooth, in Deepline? Well, let me just show you. I'm just going to copy and paste a prompt that already exists over here. And essentially what I want to do with this fictional kind of problem scenario is this. One, I have a bunch of power users that are using a tool called Pulse, and I want them to get to use our new AI tool that we're trying to sell them called Spark. And so what I want them to do is, hey, I want you to look at this cohort analytics table within Snowflake. And then I want you to sync that and create attributes within Adio. And then based off that, I want you to create an email campaign and Instantly, and then offer them 100 free credits to incentivize them to try it out. And then they just, have a natural momentum from there. So for here, it just launched, what's it called? A local process so that we can track the work along the way, right? From that plain English prompt is able to see, hey, I'm going to do all these things, inspect Snowflake, pilot Adio, create the Instantly campaign, move on with our lives. Right? While this is running, I want to show you hey, how exactly does Deepline, integrate safely and clearly with all these different things if it's not, basic MCP? Well, they built their own, API integrations. Step one, let's just go with Adio. Over here, let's say I want to, there's managed sync, but let's say I want to reconnect because I'm connecting for the first time. It's going to look and feel something like this, where it's going to say, hey, these are all the permissions it's going to give you. I'm going to give you a quick warning, given that, it's an early stage product, and move on with there. For now, I'm going to cancel because, I don't need to reconnect anything. Now, let me show you Snowflake, where assuming I already have a user scope to Deepline with some basic Snowflake SQL commands, all I have to do is copy and paste, some basic information. So this is account identifier, the warehouse, and the database, etc. Right? And then lastly is the Instantly API key. And all I have to do is just copy and paste API key sourced from Instantly and just move on with my life. And that's it, right? No kind of belabored rituals and MCP acrobatics, just, hey, tried and true robust API integrations and move on with our lives. Okay? And now let's go back to how Deepline is running right now. Okay, so it's over here. Deepline prompted me to, ask some clarifying questions, which is totally great. And so over here, yep, all 6 recommended. Yep, I'm going to draft. I don't want to activate immediately for the campaign. Which variant? Yeah, let's do this. Yep, let's do that. Submit those answers. And then have Deepline keep trucking along. All right, cool. Then it prompted me again. Let's do it. Now it's all done. Let's gut check. Hey, did this do all the things I wanted to do? Let's start from the end and go backwards. We're going to go to Instantly. Let's refresh this page. Do I see a campaign? Ooh, what do I see here? I'm going to see leads. Yep. It looks like it got 6 leads. Okay, I'll double check that later. Got sequences and bam, I got some email copy that looks what I expect it to look like. And then now I'm thinking to myself, hey, did the Instantly source the data correctly? Let's go over here and even gut check, hey, Pulse Power, Spark is one of the users. That's what row 6. It's this guy over here. And then let's actually add an attribute over here. You'll notice, hey, we have some net new columns that we can add to this. And so I'm going to go here. I'm going to add lifecycle segment, and bam, just like that, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And yeah, just like that, I didn't have to think through the idiosyncrasies and nuances of, hey, how do I properly connect to Snowflake, to ADIO, and to instantly, with all the permission scoping, without having to configure MCPs or learn the APIs, because Deepline abstracted all that for me. And so in summation, this is a speed run to integrating all your GTM tools with Deepline, with the Claude Code, and moving on with your life. Because your bragging rights isn't about, hey, how cool my stitched together code is. Your bragging rights are, hey, I was able to create a repeatable, auditable system that just works. Have fun, y'all.